everybody, to The Creative Moment, Season 2, Episode 6. I am Dante Bullhauer. I'm a photographer.
Jamie Bullhauer. I'm a writer.
And this is a podcast where we talk all things creative, how it plays into our lives, and we're giving you kind of a Thanksgiving special today.
Yeah.
We're talking about just what we're thankful for as creatives, not necessarily just in our own lives, but in the creative world, what we're thankful for, kind of things that help us be successful, keep us going, that type of thing. So Let's get right into it.
Oh, that was good.
We got it this time. So, obviously, with anything, there's a lot to be thankful for. There's a lot to kind of get some perspective on, look back with, and be grateful for, things that help us just get to where we are today. We're going to go kind of least to most. We're obviously very thankful for everything. Least to most is kind of...
Thankful for you, the viewers, and people who share in our journey.
Yep. So we're just going to go through like 3 things that we're thankful for, and let's jump right in.
So number 3, I kind of cheated. It's a big technology. And so there's a lot that's involved in that, but to a degree, it is. Just like last weekend, I was walking, and I listened to music and stuff, and stopped like 5 different times, and in my Google Docs or my notes, got out 5 like different types of poems because I was just inspired. And without technology, I'd had to carry a notebook or things. And then lately, I've been involved in Twitter Spaces, and Twitter stay the same. All right. Anyway, and and being involved in that community and stuff, and just I'm going to try to have a new short story collection with my horror short stories, and a new collection of poetry out in time for Christmas. And I couldn't do that before. Technology is encompassing. It's a big umbrella thing. There's so much to it, but honestly, I'm really thankful for technology.
And you tweeted about it, the community sense that you really couldn't get before with technology, with your followers, whatever. Building that kind of community around your work and things is something that really you couldn't do otherwise. Like, you can publish a book, do all those things, but you don't really know who's reading it, how it impacted them, unless they reach out to you, whatever. So technology really helps you kind of nurture that community that you have online and Twitter, Instagram, those things, and just kind of build something that you really couldn't do otherwise.
And I know there's maybe people in the community, but I don't even hear physically. I don't have quite the same. I don't have the people who write and do poetry and stuff like and maybe there is, but it's a little bit harder when you're working, and then a Twitter space opens up like the Writer's Corner or the Jam and stuff, and I just get into there, and yeah.
So my number 3, it's gonna sound like I'm sucking up, but is my clients. I have been so blessed with just being my own boss, having my own business, to have such supportive clients, people that support my business is just huge for me, whether it be on social media or just hiring me time and again for literally anything, photo, video, graphic design. They come to me and don't care what the price is, that stuff. That is super helpful to me. It kind of reassures me that okay, I'm doing something good, I'm doing something right, and I've been really blessed with loyal clients, repeat business, things like that they're willing to try new things with me. Even if I have never done this type of shoot before or something like that, they're open to it. And so I've been really blessed with just great clients that have helped me pursue my business and reassure me that okay, I'm doing at least something right. So that's my number 3.
And the part you said that they allow you to sometimes do something a little bit different, because that's a risk. We've talked about that a little bit, and the courage to step out, and getting a chance to do it professionally helps build your toolbox. Gets to, and you get to see the finished product. You get to see how they receive it and stuff like that.
And they're taking a risk too, because like, if it doesn't pan out, if it doesn't go how I thought it would, if I can't like put it together for whatever, like they're taking the risk, taking the gamble on me that I will be able to execute it and stuff, and knowing that if it doesn't turn out, it's like it's okay, whatever, and that like just super grateful for that. So
the second thing I'm grateful for is, oh boy, do I sound like an English teacher? Books. I just actually finished a new reading a new poetry book by an author I'd never read before. Was moved by the way that they highlighted the everydayness of life. I'm reading Neil Gaiman's The View from the Cheap Seats. And right now it's really inspiring because he's talking about the power of libraries and the power of stories. And it's like, it's just kind of filling my bucket a little bit, just being reinforced with some things, that's what books and media really can do for you, especially in the creative world. Stephen King has that famous quote, "You can't write well if you don't have time to read." And just meaning you have to take in other expressions of your work, just like Peter McKinnon and stuff like that, and viewing what he does and seeing, you get inspiration because you kind of tap into the energy, and sometimes books, especially for me, because as he was talking about the power of libraries, like there was a time that the library was like my second home, and it was like, I get that. I know that feeling of just sitting in one of those chairs and you just put the book back. You don't even check it out. You read it and then, yeah. We used to go there. We used to go to the library a lot.
Now it's audiobooks for me. I'm not a big reader. I've kind of taken up listening to audiobooks lately, and there's tons of like information out there. Like the smartest people in the world read or listen to, like they read a lot of books, and that's something that just like it, there's no negative side to it. Like you will gain knowledge no matter what you're reading, whether it's fiction, nonfiction, psychology, or whatever. Like you will gain knowledge, gain some perspective from reading, listening, from other people's experiences and that sort of thing. So that's something that I have kind of come around to, because I hated reading for the longest time, and now like when I go walk on the treadmill or stuff, I love listening to audiobooks and things like that, and just kind of gaining that extra knowledge. So my number 2 is, what I'm thankful for is my support system, and this is something that I probably don't say enough, but the ability for me to be able to feel confident enough to take the leap and start my own business. Like it was not an easy thing. The day that I decided to go take the leap, do that, like you're gonna be your own boss. You're gonna like every bit of success that you achieve, you're gonna have to make it for yourself, was a super scary thing. And I remember that day I was shaking in my chair like the entire day. I was so nervous, and I was like, well, what if I don't make it? I'm like, I'm going to have to go work at Wendy's, and which would be fine because I love bacon eggs. But my support system has given me that kind of safety net of, I know that I'll put in the work, but I know that if for whatever reason something happens, that I will still have the support system and the people that are in my corner that will help me get to where I want to be. And like a lot of what I do is my own making. It's my own stuff, but at the same time, that would all not be possible. Where I'm at today would not be possible without the support of my family, like my business partner. All that stuff would not be possible without me feeling like I am supported. I can feel confident in myself, knowing that I have those people kind of in my corner. So that's definitely my number 2. I'm so grateful for the ability to feel confident enough to not go to college, to start my own business, to do the whole thing, and know that, like, if for whatever reason I failed, I would have people that have my back that are there for me in that time of need. So
yeah, I mean, I think honestly, all creatives, however small or big, and actually usually I think it's small, meaning your inner circle is your inner circle, and you get fans and you get other stuff, but yet the support, is, important, because it gives you that foundation to be able to stand, to have the courage then to go and be creative, in which we have talked about before a little bit, because that courage, when you're alone or you feel alone in the world, it's really hard to feel brave to go adventure in whatever endeavor that it is.
Yeah, and especially, like, most days I don't talk to anybody else. I'm just here with me. There's days that I'm more confident than others. There's days that I'm less confident, and it's just so relieving to be able to know that, like, at the end of the day, if I really need it, I can go back to my support system, to those people that have believed in me from day one, and get that reassurance, get back on my feet, like that type of thing. So I'm super, super thankful for that.
All right, my number one. It's a little bit deep to a degree, but it is actually the Muse. I just, as working this week and doing some stuff, and got like a handful of new poems, and even though sometimes I tap into or experience, past hurts and all my backstory and things, I don't want to make it the cliche, it made me who I am, because it didn't. And would I, like to have things different? I would, actually. But yet, to be blessed with the Muse that inspires a creation or even a picture or things like that, I cannot imagine seeing and living my life on a shallow level. There's way too many powerful moments, both sad and happy and joyful, and those things, but I just cannot imagine a very shallow life. I would hate that. I would, just a funny little story. At your sister's basketball game, I took some pictures of a crushed crayon that was in the parking lot, and your sister was like, "Why did you do that?" And I'm all like, "But
the markers in the classroom picture that mom would all, yep.
It was interesting, and obviously those photos aren't going to be, but it was seeing that moment and being, and even mom was like, "It's cold, get in here." And I'm like, "No, I've got to take this picture. I've got to see this." And I love that, even with the negative things that sometimes I deal with and stuff, just the Muse. I feel blessed to be able to write and to share, and I did a little work on just my blog alone. Now I'm close to 150,000 words, and that's just crazy, and it's cool. So my number one is actually the Muse.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about, I had a little speaking event this last week. I talked about creativity, and just the inspiration to create is one of the most fulfilling emotions to have, because when it like hits, you just feel so fulfilled by being able to create whatever from scratch to the final product. Being able to make that creation just all in your own head, and it just creates such like a spark.
And then when earlier this week also, I read a work in a new space. I hadn't read in that space before. I had listened a couple times, just to And the host of it goes, she's like, where are you reading from? Like, as if I was reading somebody else's work. And I was like, no, this is mine. And they were like, oh my gosh, and I was just like, yeah. They're like, this is my work that just moved the space. And that was really cool. Like, and you don't get, and sometimes I do think people, well, for whatever reason, don't tap into their creativity. I think everybody has a level of creativity. I think there's all kinds of reasons why they don't step into it. And that's for maybe another, and I just think that their lives could be on a deeper level if they would. There'd be more to it.
Life would, there's just so many things that kind of just come to you that just kind of opens up when you think in that, like, I'm always thinking about, like, oh, cool photo here, cool perspective here, like all this stuff. There's so much more that you kind of experience, even in, like, the mundane stuff. Like, even just, like, the sound of me locking my door is, like, a kind of a cool, like, sound effect, whatever. So much more that just kind of you experience when you have just kind of that creative muse that you talk about. And that it provides just that extra level of, not intensity, but just a different feel for just your everyday actions, like, all that different stuff. So, yeah. My number one is kind of deep too, is the grind. And so there might be a little recency bias because this last week I probably worked harder than I maybe ever have for just a week span, for a lot of different reasons. And at the end of the day, life would not be as fulfilling as it is without hard work, without valleys and mountains. That, like, the whole thing, it would not be as fun to be a business owner if it was just all highs and all good stuff, because then I wouldn't really know what it's like to work hard and do those things. And so I'm super thankful to be able to just get in there, get the work ethic, have that passion to just keep grinding and put out stuff, because without the hard stuff, you're not grateful for the good stuff, the easy stuff, the rewarding stuff. And if, like, I would rather not do this week over again, like, it was super stressful, but at the same time I'm grateful that it happened, because without that, at the end of the week, I wouldn't be as satisfied with the week, the work that I did, without all that. If I didn't experience the stress and the long hours, the cold, the other, like, it just wouldn't be as rewarding at the end of the week to say, oh, I did a good job this week. I really worked hard. I worked my butt off. That wouldn't be there without the stress and the all that different stuff.
Because sometimes it's easier to understand physically that, like a really good workout, you actually feel good. You might be tired, your legs might be wobbly, but yet you're just like, you've creative work and other types of work is like that too. It's a different tiredness because it's mental. Yeah, and then the payoff, just like what we talked about, is the finished product is built on something more than just some shallow thrown together type of thing. It's like it's got heart to it because you put your heart into it.
Yep. And maybe not everybody sees that. Like, at the end of the day, I put together a lot of hype videos this week. The max they were at was like 52 seconds. You watch the 52 seconds and you're like, oh, that was cool. You don't see all the mental work that went into that, all the, like, the thought process of it. This week was a lot more mental work than it was actually, like, editing, actually doing stuff on the computer, creating things. It was a lot more just kind of mental prep and mentally figuring out different things, figuring out workflows. And that's not
going through all the film.
Yeah, and you don't see that in a 52-second video. You just see the selects that I picked out that went into the final video. But I know, and I see the reward, and when it gets posted and people, like, support it, they're like, oh, this is cool. It's that much more rewarding, even if they don't know all the stress and stuff that I put into that video. I know it, and that's just makes it so much more rewarding, because I know all the stuff that went into that 52 seconds was like 4 hours or 6 hours or whatever it was. And for it to go well, for it to be supported, get a lot of views, that sort of thing is just that much more rewarding because of those like stressful times, because of all the mental prep that I had to do and just the grind of the creative work.
Yeah. And if you don't enjoy the work, you're not, I don't think you can have a finished product that shines through, and that's, there's inspirational posters about the grind and everything like that, but there's the grind and things that you don't like that wear you out, and then there's the grind and doing things that you love that you still get tired. Like, there's no mistake, but there's a different level of joy, that there's a deeper connection to it. And that kind of grind, kind of like Isaiah Thomas, as his basketball career and everything he's gone through. And he kind of embraces that mentality too. And, he loves basketball, and whatever your field is, you like to grind when it's connected to what you love.
Yeah. And doing it's not fun. Like the stress, no one likes to be stressed. But the joy comes from that reward at the end of the day, at the end of the product, when I put everything I had into this. I did. Like, there was so much that went into this that nobody will ever see, and that's what makes it so joyful when you get done with it. And the grind sucks. Like, this whole week, I just had to tell myself, like, just keep going. You got to get this done. Just keep going. I don't want to work. I just want to take a nap. I want to watch TV. Just keep going. But then when I'm done, that's where the fulfilling feeling comes from. And so I'm thankful for just the grind and the stressful parts of the day, that when I'm done with them, it just means so much more than if it was just an easy, like, oh yeah, well, the video is basically put together. I'll just throw it out there. Don't really have to work on it. That's way less fulfilling than having it suck for a while to put the video together and then have it go out. So
all right. So my number three was technology, number 2 is books, and then number 3 is the muse.
Yep, my three were, number 3 was my clients, 2 was the support system that I have, and then number 1 was the grind. You guys definitely let us know what you're thankful for. It's coming around the holidays, spend a lot of time with family. Great time to just kind of sit, relax, and kind of maybe get that inspiration running for whatever creative venture maybe you're thinking about. Let us know what you're thankful for. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. This will be posted just a couple days early, but happy Thanksgiving. Super grateful for all you guys that watch this, support us, and all that different stuff. So this was The Creative Moment, Season 2, Episode 6, and we'll see you guys in a couple weeks.